So first of all, guys, thank y'all very much. This is our first event back in some type of public, and so we're really excited to have everybody back here. We're also excited we have about 3 or 4 families online right now that are joining us as well. So this will be live streamed, and then we'll be able to push it out to you. So if you have any questions after this, you want to go back, follow up with anything, all that information will be there on the computer as well. It's a really important night for you. Some of you, this is the first time you've stepped foot in this building. Some of you, it's just now starting to hit you that next year you will be in high school. And if you don't think it's hitting you as a student, I promise you it is hitting that person next to you that hey, this is getting real all of a sudden, right? And so we're excited about that fact. And then we're also excited about what your next 4 years are going to look like. It's going to be an amazing 4 years. We're in the process right now of, I know our vision has always been to reimagine and transform global education, and we're really in the meat of that now with the facilitators that we have here, and with Mr. Moss coming on board, and then the student council that we have kicking off, and so there's a lot of positive things that are going on. One of the things that I want to talk to you about is the curriculum side of it. So if you'll look at that first sheet that looks like this right here. And at the top of it, it just says Anne Frank Inspire Academy High School Profile. What this will let you know is what the 4 years will look like as far as course selections go. Not necessarily selections, but the pathways in which we're going to follow. So here at Anne Frank, we will graduate students off of 2 endorsements. And so an endorsement is what the state has identified as saying, hey, you are ready to kind of head off into this type of field from the school that you're coming from. And so one of those endorsements is a multidisciplinary endorsement, and the other endorsement is a public service endorsement. And so those are 2 of our main focuses, is that we really want for our students to leave us knowing what it's like to give back. That's something that we haven't had a strong of an opportunity to do this past year because of the pandemic, but that we will continue to move into it. The other thing that we're doing that's going to be a little bit different than what you may be used to coming from a traditional setting, and even from our middle school setting here on campus, is we want to move into a major type philosophy for our students in the grade levels. So instead of having students show up and really be focused on 8 different subjects and 8 different things that they're supposed to be doing and 8 different places that they're supposed to turn all these things in, the truth of the matter is when I come to work with a single focus, and that's to make Anne Frank Inspire Academy better and to do the things that I need to do inside of that spot, right? We ask students to stop every 45 minutes and change, and we don't ever really let them get into a flow of what they're doing. So we're moving more to what many would refer to as a cross-curriculum type setting, but we don't want to use that terminology because we've never seen it work, right? So we really want to talk about a major. So 9th graders will major in mathematics. And so what we want is for when students leave us as a 9th grader, they have a strong understanding of what it is to be a mathematician. So with that, we've rearranged our courses. And so our inquiry during their 9th grade year will be based off of relationships. And what we want for students to understand is that everything has an input and an output. And so there's the relationships that are human relationships. There's relationships of the amount of weight that we can put on furniture. There's relationships to the amount of how far we can go with gas. There's relationships with how we can do a lot of different things. And so we want to set our courses up that way. So if you'll look, students will take Algebra 1, which is an EOC tested area. They will take integrated physics and chemistry. That's a big change from what traditionally would be biology, which is also another area that is an EOC test. So basically what happens is freshmen come in, they take 3 tested areas. We want to change that to where it's only 2 tested areas instead of 3, allowing for students to have a better understanding of the concepts that we're working for. Also with allowing for it to be the integrated physics and chemistry, everything that we do in that class can be graphed, which is a lot of what they're doing inside of Algebra 1. And so as they're doing their experiments in their science classes, we're going to be able to make sure that it's transferring over into their math and they're using the algebra as they're actually developing it so that they have a better understanding of the concepts that we're actually teaching them inside of the mathematics class. English 1 would be the English class they take. And then we're going to move what has been known as a as a senior level course of government half a semester and economics is half a semester. And we're going to move that up to their freshman year. I think there's a lot of logic behind that, but where that helps as a mathematician is economics is nothing more than about inputs and outputs, right? And so again, as we're getting them to understand, every single thing we're wanting them to do is to look at it through that mathematician mind and the relationship side. When they do their inquiries can go in a lot of different directions. It may not look just like math, but the relationship aspect is what we're going to draw from there. So I'm focusing a lot on this 9th grade year because that's where a lot of the changes come from and where you're going to be headed. The other things that have to be there, PE, fine arts, a language other than English, and then our elective is our principles of governance class. And so one of the things when you look at this, you may say, well, where's my choice, right? The choice is to come to Anne Frank, right? And so the choice is to do things a little bit different. And so the choice lies in the fact that we're going to do something that's a little bit more intentional, a little bit more logical, and you're going to walk out with a deeper understanding of the concepts. The choice is going to lie in the inquiry that you choose as a student to explore and to stretch and to take yourself. And over that course of time, that's where the choice comes in, is how do I express what it is that I'm learning? And so one of the ways we really want us to start focusing on this is I'm taking my elective as a student with me everywhere I go. So if I'm a person that's really into fine arts and I'm really into music, everywhere I go, I'm going to take that and I'm going to express relationships through music, right? If I'm a person that wants to be a lawyer, well, being a lawyer would be largely about I don't have to take criminal justice as much as I need to explore how do relationships happen under the sea, or how do relationships happen on earth, right? And so I can explore relationships in multiple different areas. The other big shift is in the 10th grade year. In 10th grade, we'll be a science major, and you will be taking both biology and chemistry during that same year, okay? The reason that this is important is because if I was you as a family, and I would say, where I would be sitting is, how do I make sure that my kid gets an opportunity to get to the highest level of science, right? To do that, we have to make some changes over here in the 10th grade year. And this is what allows for students to get to that 11th and 12th grade year. In their 11th and 12th grade year, that is where we will be exposing them to on-ramps courses, which are courses from the University of Texas at Austin. And so this is where they will have the opportunity to leave us with 18 hours of credit from a Tier 1 4-year university, okay? And so if you'll look here in their 12th grade year, they'll have the opportunity to take college algebra, physics on-ramps, as well as their rhetoric and their English on-ramps. And so this is where we can turn around. If a student decides to take another science out at Northwest Vista during their 11th or 12th grade year as well, they can leave us with a STEM endorsement also, because they will have the opportunity to take 5 sciences and not just the 4 sciences. I know this is a ton of information. I didn't even dive into the testing part of it because I want to be honorable of everybody's time, but you will see on there too where we expect for students to take their test. So if you're a student that wants to take college courses at Northwest Vista in the 10th grade year, you need to take your TSI test as a freshman. Basically, the easiest way to explain that is if you take your STAR test this year in reading and you make meets or masters, then you're ready to go ahead and take the TSI, right? If we're at the approaches level, we want to continue to work a little bit more to get up. And so as a 10th grader, our expectation is that all of our students will have taken the TSI, which allows for them to be able to get into Northwest Vista. And then as an 11th grader, the ACT and SAT, and then by that time, they're going to be able to get into the colleges and be able to do the things. If those tests are still around, who knows? All those things are changing as we speak, right? So I know we're going to take questions at the end. So if you have any questions along this line, you can also go on. You can put them into the chat on YouTube if you want to make sure that they get answered and you have them on there. But I will come back and answer any questions that we have at the end. Okay? So thank y'all very much. I am going to turn it over to our vice president this year, our next year's student body president, Alyssa Blanton.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Blanton. I'm our vice president here of the Student Council, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the high school experience from a student's perspective. So, our environment here, we're trying to create a community where we rely on each other. So we look for each other for help during assignments or just in general. We support each other through these hard times. And we also have a great set of facilitators here who will support you in any needs and necessaries. Um, we also want you to be ambitious. This is a school of opportunity, so we want you to take those leaps of faith. And as I said, we have our peers and facilitators here who will support us through those endeavors. Such as opportunities is we have several sports here. I would suggest you take advantage of those. It's a very great way to get involved in the community. I would also suggest that you follow your passion. If you're passionate about photography or plants or whatever, the ocean. I myself am very invested in the ocean, and so what I'm doing is I'm actually planning a trip for our seniors to go down to the coral reefs in Florida. And so I never expected that to happen, but through the support of our facilitators, I was able to make that happen. And we have many inquiry projects going around that express our creativity. And so it's really about coming together and meshing our ideas and coming up with great ways to express ourselves. So that's what I would say about the high school experience. It's very open, and you have a lot of time to follow your passions. Thank you.
All right, good evening. You're gonna learn, I like interaction, so I'm gonna try that again. Good evening. Where are my 8th graders? That was a trick question. You're rising 9th graders. Where are my rising 9th graders? Wow, where's the energy? It's gone, it's not here. Like, we gotta have energy, guys. You gotta give me what I'm giving you. Because ultimately, this is about the rest of your career here at Anne Frank and then potentially high school before you go off and do something major in the world that we hope will transform the world. And that takes energy. So we want you guys to come in excited. We want you guys coming in with ideas. We want you guys coming in innovating. I appreciate so much Alyssa being here just to really share with you guys that high school experience and you guys hearing and seeing from a student perspective. We're gonna talk about the high school stuff, but it's not just classes, guys. We want you to be well-rounded. In 4 years, when we're presenting you to a school or somewhere else, we want you to have built a portfolio of who you are, okay? So just keep that in mind. Right now, we're gonna talk a little bit about understanding your high school graduation plan. You've got a lot of papers in front of you, but I just want us to focus on one at a time. So the one that I want you to pull out is that larger packet that says graduation toolkit on it. We're not gonna go through this in depth, but I want you to walk away understanding primarily 2 things about this toolkit or about your graduation plan, and we're gonna go over those things. And I just wanna reiterate and back up for a second. You may have questions, those of you online who have questions or those in person, if you could please just write them down, try to remember them. We'll get back to that at the end of this session. I'm sure this will generate many, many, many more questions, okay? So in 4 years, you will have amassed a transcript. That transcript, according to the Texas Education Association, requires that you meet certain requirements. In this toolkit, it will extrapolate some of those requirements. So let's go over on page 5 really quick, the foundation plan. So I want you guys to think for a second as if you were bakers. And you were asked to bake a cake. You're baking a cake, 4-year cake, right? The base of that cake, just the cake itself, is the foundation high school plan. That's 22 high school credits you must have at minimum to even think about graduating in Texas, okay? Now, fortunately here at Anne Frank, if you follow our curriculum that Mr. Johnson outlined, you'll graduate not only with 22 credits, but with 26 and potentially up to 3 endorsements. That looks really good, obviously, for a student who graduates with that. So the basics are 4 English credits, so that's 1 English per year. You need, for the basic foundation, 3 math, courses, 3 math credits. So that's Algebra 1, Geometry, and an Advanced. And you need 3 science. Has to have biology. It could be IPC, it's Integrated Physics and Chemistry, or Physics, and then an Advanced Science course. And then you must have 3 social studies credits. That's World History, or World Geography, US Government, US History, and Economics. And then you must have 2 credits in the same language. So Spanish 1 must be Spanish 2, right? And then, of course, you have to have your 1 credit of PE, your 1 fine art credit, and then 5 elective credits. Now, remember what I said first. I don't want to confuse anybody. That is just the cake. You must graduate at Anne Frank with at least the icing, okay? So now we're going to add the icing. So all we're going to do to add to that cake is 1 additional math and 1 additional science, and 2 additional elective credits. So that'll give you a total of 7 elective credits, okay? That'll put a student at 26 credits. That will also put them in line, again, if you follow our curriculum, for the multidisciplinary endorsement that Mr. Johnson spoke about. So you will graduate with at least 1 endorsement. So all of our students are graduating, and if you will turn with me briefly, but hold that page in your hand, to page, page 8, and I apologize, I didn't think about this, Phil. Page 8 shows you the distinguished level of achievement. For those of you online, you'll get a copy of this deck, so you'll be able to refer back to it. This shows you what will need to be accomplished in order to achieve a distinguished level of achievement, which basically is just distinction. And that is, of course, as I just mentioned, the math, the additional math, must include Algebra 2, 4 credits in science, and then an endorsement in your area of interest. So again, follow our curriculum, you get that icing, you get the cake, and you even get the sprinkles on top of the cake, which is that distinguished diploma. Now, some of you may end up graduating with 2 or potentially 3 endorsements based on what Mr. Johnson explained, okay? I'm gonna keep that as simple as just that, all right? 26 credits, up to 3 potential endorsements. One last thing we have to consider with the graduation plan is on page 9. You must be, according to the state of Texas, what they call college ready. And they have various ways in which a student can be deemed college ready, okay? I'm only gonna highlight the ones that will apply to us because we do not have, for example, AP courses. We don't have IB courses, okay? If a student enrolls in and successfully passes up to, it's 12 credits of dual credit, right? So you have to have 12 credits of dual credit course work. And for those of you who aren't aware, that is 3, 6, 9, 12, 4 college courses. Typically, 1 college course is 3 credit bearing, it has 3 credits. So you'll need 4 of those that you will need to pass successfully, I believe, with a C or higher? Yeah, C or higher. Then you are college ready. Check, you meet that. You can also do the PSAT, ACT, SAT, I said ACT already. As long as you meet a certain threshold on one of those instruments, you'll also be considered college ready. Now, Mr. Johnson alluded, we already have your testing curriculum mapped out for you. You will take that TSI in your 10th grade year or 9th grade for those who do well on your STAR. You will take the PSAT the fall of your junior year, the ACT in the spring, and then we ask you, we don't force you to do it, but we recommend that you take the SAT either early summer or late spring. And then when you come back your senior year, we'll look at those results and talk about what we may recommend. Okay, again, if you follow that curriculum, you will be golden. And then the last thing is, and this is not as common, but it can happen, you can earn a state, national, or internationally recognized business or industry certification or license. So if you earn one of those, you will let us know. We put that in the system. That will count check as you're college ready. Now the kicker, guys, is you only need one of those to be considered college ready, according to the state. We want to make sure you're ready beyond just what the state requires.
The one other is you take 1 on-ramps course, make above a 65 in that on-ramps course, and you're college ready. And so that is why we offer as many on-ramps courses as we offer free of charge to y'all, right? So basically about $40,000 of what it would cost you for your kid to go to a semester or a semester and a half, right, we'll take care of here. Doesn't cost us that, just so y'all know. But that'll take care of the college ready too. That's one on-ramps course, 65 or above. Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to keep that very simple. You can take this packet and go through it. The good news is, guys, we're going to be having with you a workshop every year. So every year, your 9th grade year, you're going to come in. We're going to talk about where you are. We're going to do a transcript review. We're going to go over everything again. Sophomore year, same thing. So we're going to go through this with you at least 4 more times before you graduate so that you are confident, comfortable with where you are. We wanted to start now, guys, honestly, because we have found that we just have not really been doing a really great job with communicating what your roadmap looks like. And how do you know where to go if you don't know what your roadmap is, right? So we want to give you a map now so you come in strong, okay? So just jot down any questions you might have about that, and we'll come back to that at the end. I want to go ahead and transition into talking about, very quickly, your transcript. Now, because you guys obviously are not in high school yet, you don't have a high school transcript. So I have a sample transcript in your packet, and it says Sample B across it. And I just want to go over the components of what the transcript entails, and obviously, you'll get to see yours your first year in 9th grade. But you'll see at the top basic information. You'll see your STAR test as you've taken and passed those STAR tests listed there. So you'll have the date and whether or not you passed it. So it will show you where you are with that. And then, of course, it will show you our school code, which is the school awarding credit. And then the most important part in there really is going to be sort of that middle section right there where it will show you the breakdown of your credits. And what we're going to do, again, your freshman year, is we're going to sit down with a transcript evaluation form and your transcript. And we do it as a class, and you're going to go through and you're going to place under semester 1, for example. You take semester 1, and that for you guys will be 2021 in the fall. You successfully pass English 1, you put 2021 under semester 1, and then you're going to continue kind of mapping yourself as you go along. We do not want you guys to get far behind, okay? The last thing you guys want is to be a senior and realizing you have to do 5 credit recovery courses. We don't want to see that, okay? And more importantly, we don't want to see incomplete courses. We're seeing a lot of incomplete courses, and that's obviously because we're in COVID, we get it. So we want you to get out of the habit now of saying, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. We know there are a lot of great Edgenuity online courses, right, 8th graders? Don't you love Edgenuity? I see the excitement in your faces, right? And then it's so tempting just to not do your work on Edgenuity, right? No more. I don't want to see incomplete courses. I might come after you every day if I see an incomplete course, okay? So we just want you guys to make sure you're completing your coursework. You'll also see all of your credits total on your transcript. And then at the very bottom, I don't know why you guys like this, but you guys tend to like the rank and, you know, your GPA and all that. It's important, right? So you'll see all of that as we do that once, twice a year, okay? So that's what an essential transcript will look like. Very basic, like I said, you'll get your first transcript after your first semester, 9th grade year, and you can start really mapping out what you need to do, okay? And also your dual credit courses will show on there as dual credit. We do have, and we'll go in this in great depth later, 2 GPAs, so you have a weighted and an unweighted GPA based on those dual credit courses, okay? All right, I feel like there are questions, that's great, I feel them, just write them down. We'll transition now in talking about, and I like this, we're really moving quickly, so we'll have a lot of time for questions. I want to talk to you guys about this Naviance system before we shoot over to some videos. And actually, give me one quick second because I need to unlock this computer. Okay, so previously, we did not have a robust system for tracking how one applies to, gets into, and manages the college process. I am very grateful to work for an administration that believes in really helping us to streamline our process. And so Mr. Johnston and our central office team granted us the permission to purchase Naviance. Which is more than just a college tool. It is career readiness. There's opportunities within inside this, and you'll see in a moment scholarship opportunities, We track and submit transcripts and recommendation letters in your senior year with this platform. So this is going to save all of us a lot of time and a lot of headache. So what we're asking is, well, we're not asking actually, we're very strongly and politely telling you, we're going to be using Naviance over the course of the next 4 years. So today, I want to share first just a little video to get you guys sort of your feet wet about what it is. If you do have your computers, I appreciate you guys who I saw bring some in. You can also use your phones. I'm going to ask the student register their account tonight. Families, you can also register your parent accounts as well, but I want the student to register tonight before you leave here. And we'll get to that in just a moment on how we'll do that. But first, let's just take a quick look at this video. Do I need to start it on here?
Beginning, Jessica's counselor wants to track her progress to be sure. Over the past 10 years, students, families, and educators have experienced a shift in the college application and admissions experience. Transfer rates have increased, the number of students who apply to 10 or more colleges has increased by 100%, and families are questioning the ROI of a 4-year degree. Students, families, and counselors want to make sure that students' college choices result in long-term success and career satisfaction. Take Jessica. She's an 8th grader who is just starting to navigate the college search process. In a few years, Jessica will also need tools to help her with the transcript and application processes. But today, she and her counselor want to better understand more about Jessica's strengths, interests, and career goals heading into high school. She needs a comprehensive self-inventory to gain a firm understanding of herself and the path she's best suited to pursue for long-term success after graduation. As a starting point in middle school, Jessica will need to access all her resources and college search information from a single, easy-to-search place, including information on herself, her courses, career interests, and college exploration results. Using Naviance, Jessica will learn more about herself so that she can connect that information with possible careers and colleges, ultimately with the goal of choosing the right college and the right career path the first time. Starting the self-discovery phase early helps Jessica build a complete profile of information that will help her make well-informed college and career decisions throughout high school. Using a combination of AchieveWorks assessments and Strengths Explorer, she'll learn about her personality type, strengths, and preferences. Throughout middle and early high school, Jessica learns about her unique traits and how those traits inform how she relates to people, approaches problem solving, and other important information about herself. Now, Jessica can connect the strengths and interests to careers that may be a good match. She sees that her personality type, strengths, and interests may be suited for a career in social work or community health. As Jessica progresses through high school and becomes a sophomore and junior, she, along with her counselor, can directly apply all that self-knowledge captured in her student profile to begin identifying colleges that may match her interest and learning preferences using Supermatch and Naviance Student. Through Naviance Student, she'll have a single place to track all the information she gathers along the way. Jessica has decided she wants to apply to nursing programs and become an ER nurse. Jessica's counselor can now work with her, using the Supermatch results, to identify colleges within Jessica's target state. They can look at factors that influence long-term success and on-time graduation, such as acceptance rates, tuition, and 6-year graduation rates. When Jessica becomes a senior and takes her SATs, she and her counselor can review the likelihood of being accepted into the colleges of her choice. Her counselor is able to have an objective and constructive conversation with Jessica and her parents based on the data provided through scattergrams. Jessica sees that her Reach school may be a stretch, so she decides to include one more school with a strong nursing program on her application list where she has a higher likelihood of being admitted. As senior year progresses, Jessica applies to the school she's identified as having a good nursing program and an environment in which she will tap into her strengths and interests. The school sends her letters of recommendation and her transcripts. It's May of senior year, and Jessica finds out she's been accepted to her first choice. With her college journey just beginning, Jessica's counselor wants to track her progress to be sure she persists through college and finds a great job when she graduates. This intelligence, delivered through Navient's Alumni Tracker, provides easy-to-access results on their college readiness initiatives and unparalleled insights about how students are matching with the best fit institution, including matriculation data for the previous 8 years. With Alumni Tracker, Jessica's counselor can automatically import alumni data from National Student Clearinghouse into Navient's 3 different times during the school year, and they can receive school-level reports from the National Student Clearinghouse directly within Navient's. Jessica's counselor also has a powerful set of tools to further track critical information about Jessica and her classmates' success. Navient's Insights. Navient's Insights allows her counselor to track students' college outcomes and how they progress through college, as well as report on more than 17 student outcomes, such as college application rates, graduation rates, and year-over-year trends. Her counselor can track if Jessica and her peers stayed in college and graduated, offering valuable feedback to the admissions and alumni departments. Because the college application process for students like Jessica is more than submitting transcripts, Navient's is pleased to offer schools a student-centric approach to college and career readiness that helps students find their best fit college and pursue a path after high school that yields long-term success.
It's exciting, right? Good. Glad you're excited. Okay, so we're going to dive into it. So we're going to go ahead and register accounts now. So I am going to turn over. Are they on yet? They're back on? Did I start prematurely? Okay. So we're going to show you a video, those of you who are online, on how to go ahead and register your accounts, while those here who are live, I will walk you through it. So,
Navient Student Login, account registration, login, and password resets. Select an option or the video will start automatically. You can choose to register a new account, log into Navient Student, or reset a password. Eric is going to use Navient Student for the first time. He needs to create an account using the registration code his school provided. From the Navient Student login page, select I'm new and need to register. Enter the registration code provided by your school and then select Register. The Create Account section expands in order to create a username and password. Follow the instructions for entering a username. Enter and confirm a password that matches the requirements. Select Continue. Good work. Your account has been created. Select Continue to log into Navient Student. From the login page, select your user type, enter your username and password, and then select Continue to log in. You are now logged in and ready to use Navient Student. While talking to a friend on his way home, Eric realizes he forgot his Navient Student password. He will have to reset his password. In order to reset your password, select your user type from the login page. Select the Forgot Your Password link. Enter the email on file. Select Reset Your Password. Check your email for a message with instructions on next steps. The email will provide instructions, make note of the temporary password to use for your next login. Select your school's link to return to the Navient student login page. From here, select your user type. Enter your username and the temporary password from the email. Select Continue. Enter and confirm your new password following the listed requirements. Select Continue. Once your new password is set, you are automatically brought back to the Navient student login page.
All right, welcome back. So go ahead and keep registering for those of you who are here in person. Again, just let me know if you run into any issues. One of the last pieces of paper we have in your deck is this colorful green paper, Navient Student Navigation. If you can just go ahead and take that out if you're not currently registering yourself. This just highlights certain functionality, things that you will see once you log in live after you've registered your account. The interface is pretty smooth and intuitive. At the top, if you're doing college search, if you're doing career searches, if you want to look at goal setting, you'll go into your planner. Your personal information's on the far right. You can send me a direct message on Navient if you want, and I can send you a message. So there's a lot to do and play around with. The most important thing to keep in mind, rising ninth graders, is that you are going to start a 5 curriculum series with your middle school facilitators starting the week of April 12th. So they're going to walk you through how to get more comfortable with this platform. Once you return in the fall of your 9th grade year, we're going to really hit the ground running using this in our high school advisory unit, okay? So we're going to do some of those assessments and surveys that you guys heard. We're going to talk about those. What does it mean? We're going to connect that with real-world experience and work and internships, externships, opportunities. That way, when we're sitting down your junior year in the junior college advisory, we're really talking substantive data that we have to make recommendations about where we go from there. The one thing that you're going to consistently hear me ask of families, and I really want you to hear me on this, is that you guys keep an open mind through this process. Too many times families come to my office and they've already got their minds made up. And that's okay. If you really have a passion, you really have a route that you have in mind, I support that. But I don't want you to close the doors of opportunities on yourself too soon. There are so many opportunities, programs, and pathways that one can choose if you allow us to work with you, okay? So that's the one thing I really ask of you guys in this process, is to be open about recommendations. That's all I want to spend on that. One last thing I do want to do is show you another very quick video. Obviously, many of you I see are on your phones, so you know that it is a phone-friendly app. So on the go, if you want to spend some time researching, if you're in the car or whatever the case may be, you can absolutely do that. So I just want to show this quick video, and then we're going to move on to Q&A. promise you guys, Naviance is not paying me to do any of this promotion. But of course, I believe in the product, so of course I want to share. Are we back on with them? Awesome. Okay, so Mr. Johnson is here. We have Alyssa, I know, who is hard at work in the back, but she can come join us back again. Any questions you guys have, any one of us can answer those, so now is the time.
I'm gonna bring it back down for me. If you have questions, we have a mic right up here. We ask that y'all go ahead and come up to the mic so that the audience online, I think we're up to about 8 or 9 people that are watching it online now, so that they can hear. But a couple of things real quick. One, on a praise note, guys, this guy's amazing. All right, and so those of you that have had kids that have come through before, you've been here before, right? It's a different experience. It's a different thing. He's committed. He's in it. And so I just want to say, Jeffrey, thank you very, very much for what you're doing for the school. On that same note, I'm going to be a little bit harsh on this one, okay? You got to participate with us. Jeffrey sent out, over the weekend, 5 emails. He sends out emails at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, all the time. And I promise you, I'm going to have families that say, we didn't know about this. What happened? Where did it go, right? And so on communication's a two-way street. We've invested in a lot this last year between Treehouse and Naviance. I'm telling you, we've invested over $20,000 in communication just alone, right? Just to make sure that it's there. And so it goes nowhere, though, if it goes upon deaf ears, right? If it goes out and it doesn't hit somebody. And so we just need for you to come back and participate inside of this process with us as much as you possibly can. We understand things are happening. We understand life's going on, but we're wanting to do this with you. And I want to correct me if I'm wrong, just so y'all know, we've had over 6 students so far that have received over $35,000 of scholarships based off of this that have gone through Naviance. Alone, right? And so if you're sitting there right now and you're saying, hey, I don't know if college is going to be for me, I don't know if we're going to be able to afford it, I'm telling you, the money's out there. You just have to go through the process and do the work in order to be able to get that piece of it. If you are sitting there right now and you're saying, hey, a lot of this was geared towards college and I don't know if I want to go to college, there's a reason we do that. I'm going to stand here right now, I'm going to look you in the eye, I'm going to tell you not everybody, college isn't for everybody, and that's not our goal at Anne Frank. Our goal at Anne Frank is not to say everybody's got to go to college. But what I will tell you is that you're 13, 14 years old right now. You don't know what you want. You shouldn't know what you want. If you know exactly what you want at 13 and 14 years old, we're in trouble, you know? And so what we want to do is leave everything open to you as an opportunity. And so if we don't start preparing today, for you to be, I say that, and like at 13, I knew exactly what I was going to be standing like right here. I didn't know like right here, but I knew I'd be doing this, right? So, but we want for you to be able to be prepared for whatever is going to come your way. And that starts with opening up these doors now. So that's the other part of it. So again, if you have any questions, please come here, ask the question. We'll be more than happy to answer it. If you're more of a, hey, I've got a one-on-one question, at the bottom of Mr. Moss's, he's gonna love me for saying this, at the bottom of Mr. Moss's email is a Calendly. If you'll click on that link, you will see when he's available for private office visits. You can click on there, you can schedule that event. You don't have to call, you don't have to email him. Just go on there, click there. It'll set up a meeting with him. And if you want me to be involved in it, just ask for that email, and he'll email me and let me know that part. So. Any questions? Any questions online? No questions online? No questions from the audience? Going once? Going twice? Yes, sir. Okay.
I understand we hear about kids here that are 8th grade about to go into high school, and they were talking about credits having to be 26 for them at the end of her 4 years. Is there a change? I have a child that's already in high school. Are those still the same requirements for them, or is it different for them?
So it's the same requirements for all of our students that are currently in high school. All have the same requirements.
Okay.
And when we say 22, there's a catch to the 22. The 22 limits what you're able to do with the 22. So if you graduate with 22 credits, you can't go to a 4-year university. You have to go to a 2-year community college before you go to the university. And so that's why we say that the 22 is not really an option. If you turn around and you do the math, and so this is the game that's always been played. You have to take 4 Englishes, right? Well, to be able to take 4 Englishes, you got to be in school for 4 years. Well, if you do the math and we're giving you 7 to 8 credits, right? We've got enough for you to get 32 credits. We've got enough for you to get 28 credits real easy. So there's no reason for 22 to really be that option. Does that make sense? So that's where we are on that. Other questions? I won't even make you go to the mic. I don't want the mic to be what doesn't allow you to ask your question. So if you ask your question, I'll repeat it so it can be heard there.
And will you be able to check all your kids on the same parent portal? Absolutely. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Including from 6th through 12th if they're here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
For ninth grade, the fine arts, is that one class or are there choices for that?
Okay. So the question for online is, for the 9th grade on the fine arts, is that one class or are there options? We have both art, and then we also have a music appreciation class as well. And then as you look at your 10th grade year, you'll get a choice of an elective. So if you wanted to take art 2 or you wanted to take music appreciation 2, you would have the opportunity to do that. And then also into your junior and senior year, anytime you have an elective, that fine art will also be a choice there as well. Yes, ma'am.
On Monday, you're having a class about the software, Excel software happening Monday? Or no?
Let me check my calendar.
I thought there was some sort of webinar, something. I think it was some Oh, the 20th?
Oh, I'm so sorry, yes. I'm doing so much. Yes, we are, so parents, obviously we spend a lot of time talking to the student. They're gonna have time to play with it in their advisories. We're doing a parent-only workshop on Monday the 29th. I cannot remember what time, 6:30. That'll be online, it's virtual, so just log in, and we actually have our Naviance consultant co-leading with me. So that'll be an opportunity for you to log into yours, if you haven't already, and really learn and ask questions about it, okay? So thank you for reminding me, I totally forgot about that.
6 p.m. you said?
6:30. Yeah. And then I don't want this piece to be lost on it either. It's got a huge career side. So like if you're looking for career exploration of, I don't know what I'm interested in, it's got an interest inventory, and then it's got a huge, huge career side on that side as well. Okay. So guys, thank y'all very much for coming. Thanks for getting out. I know y'all didn't do this for this reason, but you got me energized. I love to see people, the idea of us getting back in, start doing this together. Thank you for your dedication over the last year. I know that you've been put in some extremely difficult situations of trying to do, you're already doing 1,000 jobs, now you're doing 1,050. And so we thank y'all for your commitment to your child's education. And then please, 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 Ms. Payne is back there in the back. Mr. Moss is here. I'm here. Guys, if you need something, it's not a bother, right? Anything that you need is what we are here to do. And so we're super excited to see where this group, this is going to be the first cohort, and I want to leave y'all with this. This is going to be the first cohort that's going to start their freshman year with our vision ready to go, okay? In the past, everybody was been like, well, we're going to get this, and then we're going to get that, and then we're going to get that, right? This group of 9th graders right now, I got a counselor that's kick butt, right? I got a principal back there that can do anything. We got a marketing guy and a guy that does all of these things. Anything that you see that looks good, it came from Philip Castillo, just so y'all know. It did not come from Justin John. If it looks good, Philip, it's got misspelled words, Justin, okay? But we've got a plan. We've got great facilitators. Our facilitators are going to be here. Our facilitators are working hard. They believe in the vision that we have. And again, we're super excited. We know that once we team up with y'all, there's going to be some really amazing things take place. So thank y'all again for coming, and I hope y'all have a great night.